Large language models learn to generate text by processing billions of documents, but they have no physical anchor to reality. Because they lack an understanding of the physical world, these models frequently hallucinate, confidently assembling false statements that look statistically correct. What if we stopped trying to train machines to behave intelligently using mountains of data, and instead built a digital system using the exact biological wiring of a living creature? A startup based in South San Francisco called Eon Systems recently achieved exactly this. They mapped the complete neural blueprint of a fruit fly and uploaded it into a computer environment. Without any manual coding or AI training, this digital insect began moving and acting entirely on its own. Eon uses bottom-up whole brain emulation. Whole brain emulation is the process of mapping a biological nervous system and simulating it precisely on a computer. By mapping the biology itself, the system generates behavior without the need for traditional data training. The subject of this project is the adult Drosophila, the common fruit fly. To build their simulation, Eon relied on the Flywire dataset. Flywire is a collaborative scientific effort, spearheaded by researchers at Princeton University, to physically trace every single neuron and connection inside the insect's head. That map traces exactly 140,000 neurons and the 50 million synaptic connections linking them together. This specific type of map is called a connectome. A connectome is a comprehensive wiring diagram of the physical neural connections within an organism's nervous system. In the past, scientists had only mapped partial sections of brains, but missing even a fraction of a percent of those connections causes the biological logic to break down. A complete biologically faithful map was required to make the simulation work. Yet, when researchers first activated this neural map inside a blank digital void, absolutely nothing happened. The network produced no behavior. A complete neural map is essentially a dead object if it lacks a physical world to interact with. To solve this, the team placed the digital brain into NeuromechFly, a three-dimensional digital body featuring 87 distinct joints. They then dropped this body into the Mujiko physics engine. Mujiko is a physics simulator that calculates highly realistic physical forces, contacts, and object interactions in real time. The physics engine constantly feeds simulated sensory data, like the pressure of gravity, the touch of a surface, and even the chemical detection of virtual sugar, straight into the brain model as electrical pulses. Inside the simulation, the system uses leaky integrate and fire, or LIF, neurons. An LIF neuron is a mathematical model that accumulates incoming electrical energy over time, and once it hits a specific threshold, discharges the signal to the next neuron, mimicking how biological signals flow. Once the virtual body began receiving those signals, the insect started to walk. It navigated toward food and groomed its feelers naturally, all without needing a single line of traditional code. This proves the principle of embodied cognition. Embodied cognition is the concept that intelligent behavior emerges naturally when a perfectly wired brain is given a physical form and an environment. Eon Systems claims the simulation has nearly 95% predictive accuracy. This means that if you apply a certain stimulus, the digital model predicts the neural activity correctly about 95% of the time. However, several biological functions are still missing. The model does not have internal states like genuine hunger or long-term memory. It also lacks plasticity, which is the brain's ability to physically change its synaptic connections over time to learn new things. Right now, this digital fly is not a conscious organism. It operates as a biological puppet exhibiting emergent reflexes. The fly is a proof of concept. Eon Systems intends to scale this technology up the evolutionary ladder. Their next milestone is the emulation of a complete mouse brain. It contains roughly 70 million neurons, compared to 140,000 in a fly. This massive jump in scale introduces new complexities, simulating systems like emotion, memory, and decision-making. The primary bottleneck is plasticity. Replicating how a physical brain actively rewires itself to learn is a mechanical barrier researchers still have to solve. If engineers can model plasticity and map the mouse brain, the science crosses the threshold from simulating reflexes to simulating an actual mind. The ultimate goal is scaling to the human brain. This could allow researchers to digitally study mental health disorders and the fundamentals of consciousness. This approach bypasses the training data bias of current AI models. Instead of processing billions of text tokens, it attempts to grow intelligence directly from biological blueprints. This will require enormous computational power. Simulating billions of neurons in real time carries hardware costs that currently exceed our technological capabilities. Such progress raises difficult questions about mind uploading, the replication of identity, and whether a digital simulation could be capable of suffering. The digital fly demonstrates that autonomous behavior can be generated from a mapped connectome and a physics engine. If this approach scales to larger organisms, it offers a way to build intelligence from biological reconstruction rather than from text-based data training.